Back here to make my announcement. We are going to eat by tables because, as you know, it's short on room in here. So what we're going to do first is the head table over here. If y'all didn't know that was the head table, that is the head table. And they're going to just file right out and line up over there. But first things first, we're going to ask Mr. Willis to have the invocation. If you please.
Let us pray. Our kind Heavenly Father, we are so grateful to Thee for the many blessings You've given to us. We thank Thee for this occasion where we gather together with friends as we can renew acquaintances, this fellowship time together. We thank Thee, dear Heavenly Father, for each one who is present here tonight and for each one who is represented. Kind Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the safety that each has had as they travel here. And we pray, dear Heavenly Father, that they will have a safe journey back to their homes. We ask Thee now, dear Heavenly Father, if we can take this food, that You bless it to the nourishment of our bodies, use it in our service. We ask these things in Christ's name.
Now, okay, now after the head table, we'll start down Ronnie at your table. Okay. Y'all don't move down here, please. And then we'll just take, table by table, where we won't be surprised down there. Surely, after all these years, you can handle it. I know we always had trouble getting in line at the lunchroom, but surely we can handle this tonight. Okay, head table. Okay, now we got them all in? I noticed. Sir, turn it down. Throw your pen. You don't wait, brother. Shoot, handle it, Captain. All right. Okay, it says on the program that the next thing is a welcome. Now, I really don't know what a welcome is. I've seen Minnie Pearl come out and say, "I'm so proud to be here." And I never really understood that until I've gotten this age. And I really understand now why I'm so proud to be here. And I hope that you are too. I read a little article and I thought this was kind of appropriate. It said a few years ago, the class of freshmen at Harvard made a huge sign that said, "Harvard has been waiting 300 years for us. We've been waiting for you to come to be with us, not 300 years, but it seems like a long time." And especially this past year, it seems like in a way it's been fun, and in a way it's been a long time getting here. but we really have anticipated this event tonight. Would like to go back in the past a little bit with you. As you know, we spent many a night at the Old Rose Inn on the sock hopping tour. Now, when I say a tour, really it was a dance down there, but I don't remember too many dances. What we did, we would go in and see who the girls were there, and if the girls weren't there that we were looking for, we'd go back out and run up down Main Street a while, and then we'd come back in and see if the girls were there. Now, I don't remember doing all that much dancing up there or even sock hopping. And some folks probably don't know, well, everybody here don't know what a sock hop is. But what I'm getting around to is to tell you the Rose Inn isn't there anymore. But if you want a picture of it, we have them down at the chamber for $10 a piece. I promised them I'd do that. Oh, and another thing that's disappeared, it just disappeared this year, but it was a famous place for us. And I remember going down there when I was a sophomore, and I was real impressed because some of the senior football players invited me along. And we all went out there, and they had girlfriends with them. Now, that was before I knew anything about girlfriends, and I didn't know too much about what to do with them, you know, and so I didn't have a girlfriend. But they were all cheerleaders. I thought that was really impressive. And we went to the light. Does everybody know about the light? Well, we went out there, and these brave football players were all leading us down the track. And they were dragging the girlfriends behind them, and of course I was way behind them, because I didn't have a girlfriend even to drag. But anyway, the light did appear that night. And they turned around and did a full back rush over the cheerleaders and back to their car, dragging those poor cheerleaders down the track. Well, I'm here to tell you the track's not even there anymore. And so I'm assuming that the light has moved. And I got from a good source that over there on a real foggy night out from Montrose, they saw this lantern going through one of those flat cars that's got all the track piled on it, and they were looking, they assumed that he was looking for his head over there because they moved the track over. Really have to explain that, dude. I thought that was kind of cute when I thought it up, but anyway, everybody knows the story about the light. Okay, it's gone. It's gone. We lost it. Hoop skirts are gone. Does anybody know what a hoop? Did we really call them hoop skirts?
Yes.
Did we? Is that, somebody said crinoline. Crinoline? Is that what it was? Ann, my expert, she just, I can't ever say anything right. The whole time we've been planning this, I haven't done anything right. Ann says, that's not right, they're crinoline. Something, I can't even say crinoline. But anyway, they're gone, but we found a dummy out here to wear them. Now don't tell her, I think that's one Raymond was going to dance with first. He had promised her since he brought her here to dance with her first. Of course, now he had to dress her. And he told me that was a new experience, trying to dress one of those dummies. And of course, he drove out here with her. She didn't have any clothes on. She was sitting in front of his new truck. I said, that would be an experience. That's probably going to be in the News Observer next year. Oh, Pink and Black. Y'all remember Pink and Black? Oh, I wished I didn't, I tell you. Really, it just kind of, you know, Pink and Black just really didn't do what?
You look real cute.
Poor Phyllis, you knew I needed that. Thank you. And also we had Ivy League, you know, with the belt buckle in the back and the button-down collars. See, you got the button-down collars back. So we got those. And poor old Elvis is gone. Although we do have some remembrance of him tonight. It sounds like Mel Tillis. But anyway, we got a little Elvis Presley tonight, but he's gone too. Oh, I want to tell you that I stood around at the picnic and kind of listened a little bit, and I heard this conversation over there. And they said, I won't tell you who it was, man. It says, I don't believe you knew who I was when we met in the park today, did you? And another person said, no, who were you? We got the damnedest smart-ass piece of class I ever saw. I mean, you really I hate to say that word, but it's the truth. There's a bunch of smart alecks in this place. Oh, you remember the science club? Gerald, you remember shooting that rocket up and it went up and landed in somebody's house or something? I don't know what it did. Shot that booger way up there. We thought we was going to the moon right then. You know, Russia's got ahead of us. Shoot, we went out first cow pasture we find, shoot a rocket off. Oh, Gerald, I don't know how he did it. He took a pipe and stuck something on the end of it, put some gunpowder in it. He shot that rascal up. I don't remember how high did he go, Gerald? About what? A mile. Well, it has been 25 years. Now, you can believe that if you want. Oh, in the old high school, you know, we used to call this the high school. Not the high school anymore, it's Norman Junior High School, but it's still there. And the only problem is it might not be there much longer, because there is an attack being made on it now. I don't know if y'all read about it. This is kind of serious, but vandals have attacked the building, and in fact they tried to set it on fire and almost succeeded in burning it down. But before someone saw it quick enough, it got the fire department down there and stopped it. And then they broke into the trophy case and destroyed a lot of the trophies. So that may not be around much longer for us to enjoy either. Oh, this is one of my favorite stories I'm going to tell you now. Then, you know, as we went through school, this is kind of for the benefit of the teachers. I want to understand that we really understood the educational process and how you learn. And this story is about the pig farm. Have y'all heard the story about the pig farm? Okay, the guy decided he's going to raise some pigs. And he went out and got 11 sows. No, he got 12 sows, I'm sorry. He got 12 sows and brought them home. Well, after he got home, he discovered that that's not the way to raise pigs. You've got to have a board. Now, ladies, that's a male pig. You know, the sows are the female, and okay, all right, I didn't know how much I had to explain there. But anyway, he got these pigs, and he got home and he totaled up how much the food cost to feed them. And he said, hey, I've got to have some baby pigs to sell so I can pay for this food. That's the way you raise pigs. And he got to worrying about that. He didn't know what he was going to do. So he went to town. You know, all farmers go to town about 10 o'clock in the morning and drink coffee. So he went to town about 10 o'clock in the morning, sat down and drank coffee. And boy, he looked so forlorn that it was just pitiful. And his friend Joe came in. He looked over and said, hey, Frank, said, what you looking so sad for? And he said, well, he said, I got 12 sows out there. He said, I'm trying to raise pigs, and I can't without a board. He said, that's no problem, man. I got a board. And we'll get them together and you raise sows. You know, you raise pigs all you want to. We'll get that sow, those sows and that board together. We'll go to town, okay? All right, he said. Went home, you know, he got thinking. I said, man, we got to get together soon because this feed bill's building up. It's getting higher and higher and more expensive to feed these sows. Called old Joe up. He said, hey, Joe, said, we need to get these sows and that board together quick. And he said, how about bringing the board on over to the house tomorrow and we'll get them together? He said, can't do that. Said, this board is a special board. He's got a special pen, and I do not move him. You'll have to bring all the sows over to my house. He said, oh, that's no problem. I got a big long trailer, pickup truck, Raymond. A new pickup truck, Raymond. And I'll load them all up and bring them over in the morning. So he sure enough, he did. He loaded all the sows up, carried them over there, unloaded them in the pen with the board, went in the house, drank coffee, sat around, you know, ate. They invited me down, ate dinner, sat around a little bit longer, drank coffee that afternoon, about 3:30 or so, and said, time to take those sows back home. Bound up took by 9. So went out, loaded them all up, carried them home, unloaded them in the pen. He got thinking, said, now, wait a minute, I can't wait 3 or 4 months to see if it took or not. So we called Joe back up. Hey, Joe, said, what am I going to do? Said, I got to know pretty soon about these sows. Said, how do I know whether it took or not? He said, that's no problem, Frank. Said, go out in the morning and look out there, and if they're all laying in the mud, it didn't take. Or if any of them are laying in the mud, it didn't take. It's an old wives' tale, but it's true. He said, okay, I'll do that. So old Frank went out next morning, all 12 of them laying in the mud. All 12 of them. So he loaded them all back up, carried them over to Joe, unloaded those sows, stayed there, drank coffee, ate dinner, drank coffee, load those sows up, brought them back home. He said, I really don't want to go out there in the morning and see if they're laying in the mud. Next morning went out, sure enough, they were all laying in the mud. Every one of them. Load them back up, carried them over to Joe's, unload them, drank coffee, ate dinner, drank coffee, load them back up, carried them back over to his house, turned them loose. He got to thinking, he said, man, I don't want to go out there in the morning and see if those sows are laying in the mud. So he talked to his wife, said, would you go out there in the morning and see if those sows laid in the mud? She said, sure, no problem. Next morning she went out, checked them, said, came back in, he said, said, were they laying in the mud? She said, said, lead bombs on the trailer and others trying to get the cab of the truck over. Now that's a long story to make a point. But that's learning by repetition. And I just wanted our instructors over here to understand that we did learn by repetition. The only thing I can say about the future is that probably more land marshal this year, like I mentioned about Norman High School and probably Calhoun School. We used to call it the old white school, went to grammar school down there. It's probably eventually something will have to do it. It's getting to the age now that they'll have to decide whether to repair it or replace it. Well, of course, we will get more mature if we're not mature yet. I'm not sure exactly what being mature is, but anyway, we will get more mature as we get older. And there is a rumor out that they have discovered what the wise men's occupation is. Now, this is something of the future, that they're going to determine this. Do y'all know what the wise men, the three men, that followed the stars and everything, what their occupation was? Firemen, that's right. Hush, James Harris. You know why they're firemen? Because they come from afar. James Harris will not be invited to the next one. He's done that to me 2 or 3 times. We, of course, will explore the stars, and we will explore retirement. And it promises to be a good future for us. We will live longer and hopefully healthier. But let's not worry about the future. Let's enjoy this night, renew old friendships, dance to the songs of the 50s and the 60s, and enjoy our memories. I did want to say one thing about RM. I heard him ask one of the ladies, what did I say? He asked one of the ladies to call him a taxi. And she said, okay, you're a taxi. Yeah, throw that one away. We'll use that one again. All right, on with the program here.
Go back to the bed.
Yes, understand that. Okay, now I would like to call on my friend Jack Reynolds to, what are we supposed to use? Among those absent. Is that what your title is? No, you're here. No, you're not among those absent. You're to talk about it. Okay.
All right, Ann asked me to do this, or we discussed it anyhow. Bill is talking about how great things are. Everything was going along fine for me as far as this thing's concerned. Until this morning we started toward registration, and someone asked if I was on cortisone. I'm not on cortisone. I've got the same problem some of the rest of you have. And we won't call any names, I've seen some. But then I go see Mr. McClintock over here, and he does this to me. He says, yeah, I recognize you right off. Puts a book in front of my hair. And Virginia Evans topped it off this afternoon. My daughter came down to the picnic to visit with us down there, and I introduced Virginia to Susan, and she promptly explained to Susan that she and I had a date for the Eaglette dance when we were in the senior high school. She wouldn't leave well enough alone. She went right along and told Susan it was the worst date she ever had in her life. the primary part of my day. Ann was supposed to get this letter to me so I could explain to you who wasn't going to be here. She told me this morning she about had it finished. And then at the picnic today, she said, I about got it finished. And just a few minutes ago, she evidently got it finished because I've got it. And Doug Lennon told me at the picnic that he would meet me here at 3:30 to unload these speakers. Doug got here about 7. These speakers are about 100 pounds apiece. I had a volunteer to stay and help, but I thought we'd depend on Doug. Tonight I'm gonna tell you about some of the people that aren't here, why they're not here. I noticed a gap here in the ones that aren't here, and we won't go into who's not here because of that. Miss Huey sends her regards. She didn't send them knowing that I was going to do this, I'm sure. Mr. Huey is quite ill, for those of you that didn't know, seriously, and he evidently from emphysema, and she does send us her love. Mr. Willis is well aware of the fact that Ms. Huey wasn't very fond of me. Stanley and Rosemary Barnell Fuller, that's quite a name if you want to add all that together, but if you're going to Mesa, Arizona, you've all got an invitation to come and visit with them. I encourage you to do it all at once. But they do invite you to come. I think it would be quite a shock. Terry Hogue, it says of Scott Depot, West Virginia. I think the reason he's living in Scott Depot, Arizona, West Virginia, is so that we won't come to visit with him. We can't find that. But he said he'd be thinking of everyone here tonight. He's, let's see, he's preparing for the ministry. I think his father was in the ministry, so Terry has decided to go into ministry. I have thought about changing into a few different things myself. Ministry wasn't one of them. Nancy Cal Everett, is that proper? Sorry about that. And she's at Little Rock, and they're taking a vacation that they feel like evidently that they've earned for quite a while. Ann writes down here that it means that her husband won out. I seriously doubt that. I don't think that's what that means. Bonnie Lear Chew. Bonnie Lear, most of you remember. She's in Seattle, Washington. Evidently decided this was a little bit for an overnight trip. But her husband Jim is having major surgery Tuesday, and Bonnie called and said she missed all of us and would be thinking of all of us tonight and would like to ask for prayers for her husband during the surgery. Mary Frances Mann, who was in Crossett, most of you know, for several years. She had a bodybuilding clinic or whatever. I guess she decided to take it to Indonesia. That's where she is now. She wishes that she could come also. Byron Howard Finley, excuse me, is next. Someone said you saw Howard lately. Says here that he's probably filling sandbags. I do know someone here has made it from Utah. Did I not? Yeah, back over here in the corner. So we have someone here from Utah, so they didn't need everyone to fill sandbags in Utah. But evidently they needed some. He lives near Salt Lake City. He's issued a warm invitation for everyone to come and visit him. So if you can get all these trips arranged at the same time, you got plenty of places to stay. Byron Walser is in Modesto, California, and he welcomes any visitors who would like to go that way. If you work early in the summer, you got quite a trip planned. Myra Watson Mercer, as most of you know, is taking 13 teenage girls to Gloria this week. The only thing I could think would be worse would if it's boys. But it sounds like she's probably going to have a good time. William Willis is in labor negotiations. That's not labor. Negotiations. He tried hard, Ann says here, but he just couldn't make it. Earl Farrah is not here tonight due to the fact that Harold Glenn Young is here tonight. Both of them can't leave Mississippi at the same time. Harold won the bet, and he's here. I think Martha D. may also have had something to do with the bet. Brenda Sibbles is in Williamsburg, Virginia, and she's on a long-planned tour, says, and she sends her love, best wishes to all of you. I also am glad to see all of you myself. It's been very pleasant. What little bit of planning that I've been involved in. There's one group of people here tonight that have been mentioned in this roster that I think that we should, those of the class of 58, should give a very, very strong appreciation to. And that's the spouses that come out and listen to all this crap. Thank you.
Okay, now if I can find all my notes. I tell you, Ann's bad about, she gets you notes at the last minute. Just kept giving me notes. I said, I'm glad I wore this coat. See, the reason I didn't wear the reason I wore this coat wasn't to show anybody up. I couldn't carry all my notes. You know, if I'd just worn a leisure shirt, I probably wouldn't have had a pocket. And I just had all this stuff in my hand. So I'll take the coat off after I'm through. But anyway, tonight we have some honored guests, and I would like to introduce them at this time. And if you will, just kind of save your applause until I get through, and then we'll give them all a big round of applause, okay? Mr. Hugh Willis and Ms. Willis. You will just stand up so everybody can see. I think everybody knows that. Okay. Wayne K. Pop Wilson and Leela Henry Wilson. Dr. Robert Truax and Nancy Kemp Truax. Harry Denson and Ms. Denson. Ms. Mary Elizabeth Hines. Ms. Bernice Crawford. Mr. Sims McClellan. All right, let's give them a hand. Really appreciate them coming out and spending a few hours with us and enjoying the visit. Now it's the introduction of class members, and I'm not real sure how to handle this. I guess we can start at the far table back there, and we'll go kind of quick and just stand up and tell who you are, and so everybody, I can't believe anybody doesn't know who everybody are. Here, whatever. I don't believe that. You don't want to introduce yourself? Me? Oh, shoot. I thought sure I'd just go sit down and get to stand up and introduce myself. Okay, Ann, they don't want to do that. You have to clear all this with Ann, see. She will talk to me after this meeting. She's made note of every grammatical mistake I've made. And we will have an English class at 1 o'clock Sunday morning. Okay, it says in this program that now we will... I didn't hear that. I may be glad I did. Okay, I believe that now it's Ann's turn. I really shouldn't. You know, we should have put her last on the program. You want to come up here, Ann, or? Okay.
If you'll take a look at the head table, you'll notice there are 6 candles there. They are there for a reason. As we gather here together with the companions of our youth, we should not forget our 6 classmates who have died. For 12 years, they were an important part of our lives. Let's take a little time this weekend to reminisce about them with affection, love, and laughter. They would not want us to think of them with misty eyes and lumpy throats. So let our remembrances be of their crazy stunts, their funny sayings, their unforgettable quirks that made them our dearly loved. Solemn Griffin Miller, slow of speech, dry of wit. Wickedly funny Dickie Dunn, always good for one more outrageous prank. Brilliant John Hall Etheridge, multi-talented musician and deeply caring friend. Tall, gangling Pat McConnell with his shy grin. Quiet Merle Maxwell, gentle and reserved. And devilishly handsome Buck Yateman, smooth spinner of lines, good athlete, great friend. We remember all of you at this reunion.
Thank you, Ann. Okay, now it says on the program that we will have awards. Okay, now, yeah, that's right. What are we going to do now? I got to see them, you got the prizes, and they're over yonder. They jump over the table like Superman or something, with one bounding leap. How are they going to get up here? No, I'm not talking about the prizes. I'm talking about the people that's going to get them. Pass them, okay. You handle that. That's uncouth, you know. That's just not a formal way of handling this situation. I had to do that. Okay, the first one is the one that's traveled the furthest. Now, that's not the way they've got this down here. They've got Paris, the forest. Not the farthest, but the farthest. Okay, the person that did that is Ronnie Searcy. How about that? I tell you, we had I had to ask you every time, we had somebody travel from way out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean last time they were here. Who won? You did, didn't you? I had to ask it every I can't remember, but somebody traveled halfway around the world to be here on our 10-year one. Well, how come you live so close? So you could have won it again? Oh, you right now? Right, you want Ronnie, I don't know, man. I don't know. Go ahead and open it, though. I don't know what's in there now.
We think this is a perfect present for someone from way far away.
Oh, so he can't hit you. I mean, he's way off. Yeah, okay, he can't reach that far. Yeah, he's pretty close. Now listen, I didn't pick that out.
Where in the hell is Crossett?
I'm trying not to embarrass anybody with this next one, but I tell you, I was rolling in the floor the first meeting we had. And old Client Gardner came in the meeting and was sitting over there, and Ronnie Little was sitting there with me. We were bouncing stories off each other and everything. We said, well, let's give a prize for the one with the youngest child. And old Client says, I'm going to win that. Because I got one 2 years old, Client. Where's Client? 4. 2 years and 1 year. That's pretty good, Clyde. But anyway, old Ronnie says, hey, Clyde, don't you know how you get those things? Clyde says, yeah, but it sure is fun. Him, Barry, that's the first time I saw Ronnie not say another word. That is it right there. Clyde stopped it right there. And you know, Clyde doesn't ever say a whole lot. But boy, when he does say something, okay, we'll give him the prize. You want him to open it too? Not as important as that other. Not as funny as that. I mean, I don't know. I thought they were all the same. Boy, I'd say it was. Yeah, I could probably handle traveling from California, but I'm not sure about that. You have a baby. Okay, the most children. Now, we got 3 down here. Is that right? Yeah, you counted. We've tabulated this, and Funk and Wagner, or whoever counts the ballots and all that stuff has done it, huh? And we're opening the envelope. Raymond Pittsburgh did what? His new truck? Oh, yeah, the votes in the new truck. Okay. We just want everybody to know Raymond has a new truck. We tried to get him to haul all the garbage off down there, but he wouldn't do it. Okay, most children. Don Brooks, Mary Pendergrass, and Gerald Wayne Johnson. How about that? Well, I don't know. 5 each? Oh, it's a tie. 5 each. Yep. Mary, she's here. Oh, there she is. All right. Now, let's see. Okay, now it's the least changed man and the least changed woman. Okay. Oh. Okay, the least changed woman is by a landslide. I think we had 2 or 3 votes for some other votes. Virginia Evans. You know, Virginia, of course, I don't think when she left Crossett she ever bragged about this. But you know she was the termite queen. Would you tell anybody that you were? I mean, you know, it was a great honor here in our school, but outside, you know, would you really say, hey, I'm a termite queen? But anyway, she is. If you'll look in your annual, she's in there. Okay, now the least changed man is that.
That was about a 3-way split. It was
3
really.
day was closed. So some of you fellas, you know, just keep everybody, all you other fellas think that it's you. See, it's almost tied with it. See, Johnny Mac Johnson. Oh, let me see. Now I'm supposed to call on Ann. That's what my note says. Call on Ann. No, it says call on me, but Ann broke it. Are you going?
First we need,
We're not going to have the drawing for the door prizes. If Charles, okay, if you'll reach out there on the porch and get me those 2 boxes.
Do we get to hear the dog?
Yes, they'll let you. You can take some of them.
Anybody want a white sport coat?
And a pink
I
carnation.
used to have one, but it turned yellow. Is that carnation 25 years old?
Not brand.
Oh, I think they look pretty good. Okay, who's going to draw those out? Is everybody eligible for those? Oh, the price. Well, they make these things interesting when they say stuff like that. Now we got to know what this is. It must be something left over from our graduation, like an old, what we used to wear, mortarboards or something like that. No, maybe an old program to our junior, senior prom. Trip to the Light, that'd be all right. Oh, this is it. Nancy Armstrong Riley. You know it. Yes, there is one thing that we added later. We do have an all-paid expense trip to the light. All expenses paid trip to the light. Does that sound better? Well, I'm trying so hard to be grammatically correct, but it's very difficult. You got enough? What'd you say, Miss Ann? She taught me too. She's having a hard time. See, she can't look at me, see. She got her back to this. Oh, you still see the rulers in print there. It's still there. That wasn't nice, was it? Oh, no, don't tell. I don't need to tell them that. Boy, they won't believe that. I've been teaching this hand stuff. Boy, till I get her up from the class in there. Paul Johnson. How about that? What's in there? Nancy, do you wrote yours? Oh, what are you talking about? All right, anyway, my God. Eagle on the front. What is that? Trinket box. Well, I put candy in it. Okay, okay, now is this when? Okay, Sam, hurry up. Oh, Paul. He didn't go by Sam. Paul, oh, you got your assistant open. That's the way with these attorneys, they can't do it. Somebody around with them, open the door of the car and all that. They don't do anything by themselves. Oh, yeah, Katie Moore. And you should bring that in court. Well, I tell you what, you'll get the verdict will be for you. All right, now if all the notes here. Okay, you want to do your part, then I'll go.
About a year ago, I was minding my own business in Safeway when Laurel Pennington jumped up out of the lettuce at me and said, "You have got to go home and call Doyle Glenn right this minute because he's going to have a reunion." Well, I said, "Oh, heck, I don't want to do that." And, but Doyle talked me into it. I can guarantee you that not one of you would be sitting here tonight if it were not for Doyle. He's the one who got everybody excited. He talked to it. He made us do it. And he said, I made him a promise when we elected him chairman of this reunion. I said, Doyle, you will never have to make a speech. And I'm going to hold him tonight, though you do not have to talk. But in a slightly illegal way, we managed to get a hold of something that Doyle does not have, but that he wants very, very much. So Doyle, come up here. This is for you from the committee and your classmates with a great deal of love. I'm not even coming to meet. I know we got to write everybody in the world, you know, and all this stuff, and just come on back, because I'm not going to let you go yet. And you know who did all the work, who you heard from, you know who you correspond with? Okay. We do appreciate the work that Ann's done, and I will say this, if we do decide to have another one, boy, we've got a lot of material now to work with. I think they had to pretty well start from scratch this time, and what we would like, while she's opening out, I'd like to remind you, if you will, of course, I'll probably be here the rest of my life, and Ann will be, and
one or two of the others in the booklet, I think, will be in the Crossett area probably the rest of our lives. So if you do change your address, would you just drop us a note? We'll be sure to keep it on file. Because we've lost one or two, and we have no way of knowing where they are or how to get a hold of them. They have no kin here in our area.
Thank you.
Okay, we did make a mistake. Now, all, you know, we do so many things and everything, but we did make a mistake, and we need to change your booklet. So if you'll make a note here, Kim, Greg, and Kathy are not Wilford Rice's children that we know of. They belong to Nancy and Hubert Rice. Or they claim it. Teresa, Aaron, and Brenda are Wilford and Helene. Okay, boy, I'm surprised that's the only mistake we had. Boy, I tell you, we ciphered through stuff that you wouldn't believe, and I'm going to ask, gosh, I'm talking I want Joe Adcock Nut to come up here. Where's Joe? Come on up here, Joe. We're going to do something special here. I'm not sure she's going to make it, though. But, Joe, you can stand right there by Charles if you want to. We can just all turn that way. But what we'd like for her to do now is she's going to lead us in the good old alma mater. And if you don't know it, it's printed. Well, you don't have your books with you, do you? However, sure. Okay, Joe, take it away.
Okay, you can't sing your alma mater sitting down. Okay, ready? Hail, Crossett High School, hats off to you. Ever you'll find us loyal and true. Firm and undaunted, always will be. Hail to the school we love, here's a toast to thee.
Hey!
Let me just say one more thing. Is there anything anybody else wants to say? We kind of all hate to use that word, all. Kind of reminds me of a joke. If you will, I think they want us to move out on the porch, and then they'll be able to clear the tables out of here, and if we want to dance or whatever we can. Okay? Oh, wait a minute. Sign it one more time. Oh, no, I want you to sign your picture one more time in the dance. Try to get by and give you the sign.